Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I asked you guys some questions on Instagram and I decided to do a Q&A about body image because I think it's such an important topic to address. Now, before I get started, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. The first question is, have you ever struggled with body image and comparison? Yes, I've struggled with it for a long time, and even though it's much better now, I still do sometimes, to be honest. In high school was when I was at my lowest. I was really struggling with how I looked and the way I felt about myself, which ultimately led to two eating disorders. First anorexia and then binge eating. I think that to some extent every girl struggles with body image at some point, and nowadays obviously social media plays a huge role in it because we start comparing ourselves to others that we don't even know online, and that can be really detrimental for our mental health, and it becomes very toxic because we feel like there's one ideal body type which ultimately doesn't exist at all. Every body is unique and beautiful in its own way, and we need to find a way to accept that. Any advice for people who struggle with body dysmorphia? So the best advice I can give, I think, is to start small and do something every day that improves the way you feel about yourself. For me, what personally helps me is to repeat positive affirmations and really embrace the concept of body neutrality. For the longest time, I tried to just love my body, which was very hard for me because it meant that I would say to the mirror, oh, I love my belly rolls, I love my stretch marks, which is not true. Like, I don't love everything about my body, so looking at it from a neutral perspective is very helpful for me. The definition of body neutrality is the following. Body neutrality means taking a neutral perspective towards your body, meaning that you do not have to cultivate a love for your body or feel that you have to love your body every day. You may not always love your body, but you may still live happily and appreciate everything your body can do. I really appreciate everything that my body does for me on a daily basis, and it allows me to do the things that I like. For example, dancing or just walking outside. But that doesn't mean that I have to love every single part of my body. I just learn to accept that. The third question was, have you ever struggled with an eating disorder? Yes, so as I mentioned before, I struggled with anorexia when I was 15. It all started out as a small diet to lose a couple pounds, but soon I became addicted to seeing the number on the scale drop, and I didn't even notice, to be honest. To be honest, I think that's the scariest part, because one day you feel like you are in control and the other day you start crying because you have eaten something that you feel like you shouldn't be eating. It's like such a smooth transition in your mindset that you don't even realize that you are actually getting really sick. Then when I finally started recovering from anorexia, I fell into the other end of the spectrum, which is binge eating disorder. I remember having absolutely no control with food, and I would just eat until the point where I felt sick and I was past the point of full, which of course was really upsetting to my stomach and also my mental health. For a couple of years, I would say that I was stuck in this destructive cycle of overeating and then cutting my calories and over-exercising to compensate, but luckily right now I've totally recovered from it, so that's good. What influencers inspire you to promote a good body image online? So I would say that right now my biggest inspirations are definitely Brie Lenehan, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name right, and also Danae Mercer. Danae is American and she talks a lot about the different angles and how that affects the perceived body image, and also talks about self-love. And Brie is an Aussie. She's awesome. She's really improved my body image and how I feel about myself, and she's just so true and seems really genuine online, so I really like her. Why do you promote a good body image and still talk about fat loss and weight loss? Okay, I think a lot of people think that these two are very contradictory, but I don't think so, because you may want to improve your body and therefore lose weight or lose fat and still have a good body image. So you may not feel bad about yourself, but it's okay to want to improve. I think it's all about your mindset, and if you have the right mindset when you are trying to work on your fitness goals, then there's no problem whatsoever with that. The problem arises when you get so focused on the goals that you start living for that and you become obsessed with a perfection that doesn't exist. Any advice to stop overeating? So what really helped me was to figure out what my trigger was. What I mean by this is that it's really important for you to notice when are the times where you overeat and what led you to do that. For example, you may eat when you are stressed, when you feel sad, or when you just feel bored and you feel lonely. So food becomes like a coping mechanism with those emotions. When you figure out the cause, you can start acting on it and implementing small ways in which you can deal with overeating. For me specifically, I eat when I'm bored or when I'm stressed. So now, for instance, when I feel stressed, I try to go for a workout instead of going immediately to eat. And sometimes that's enough for me to stop overeating. Another thing that really helped me was starting to eat the main meals with others, because I feel like when we overeat, we usually do it when we are alone because of the feelings of guilt and shame for doing that. At least that's how I used to be. So when I started actually setting times to eat with my family or just make an effort to eat more with my friends instead of being alone at home, it started improving. And the last question is how to stop caring about what other people think of my appearance. So that's actually a very good one, because I used to struggle with this in school all the time. Like, I didn't feel worthy enough, so I was focused so much on what other people thought of me instead of improving the way I felt about myself. I think the best way to stop caring is to work on yourself, do journaling, positive affirmations, and just work to build an unshakable self-love. And at the same time think, what's the worst that can happen? I know that for me, my problem was always that my friends would, for example, criticize my hair or something else. But now thinking back, I just think, okay, but if they criticize my appearance, then they were obviously not really my friends. So at the end of the day, I didn't really lose anything. I'm better off without them, and I need positive and uplifting people in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this body image Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Bye.